Hey there members, happy Sunday. Today is February 7th, which means we have another week of weekly workouts. So what we're gonna do is start off our Mobility Monday of February 8th tomorrow, if you're watching this video on Sunday night. And we're gonna do 1 minute per movement for 3 rounds, okay? You can play with this time as long as you need to. If you need it to be longer, go a little bit more, add some more rounds in. If you need to be shorter, try to get it down to 45 seconds. I wouldn't go much shorter than this though, because it is just supposed to be active rest time. So you're getting some type of movement in, even if it's not, playing squash or lifting weights or doing an all-out Tabata or playing paddle, sledding, whatever. You just want to be active, but not really crushing yourself, right? This is kind of like your recovery day, if you will. So we're gonna start off with the world's greatest stretch. So for this, I'm gonna show you the side view. You're gonna start 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. You're gonna plant the opposite hand forward. So my right foot's forward, right foot's forward, left hand's forward. I'm gonna pick this knee up off the ground, reach up, drop this elbow down. So I'm twisting, right? I'm twisting through, trying to touch that elbow to my hand. Feeling some tightness up here, which is good. Reaching up, twisting out. Big inhale. And again, you can play with all kinds of stuff. You can shift your weight forward and back. You can work on the depth and the range of motion on your rotation, right? And then after you do 45 seconds or a minute on one side, you can go ahead and do the other side. This is really great to open up the hips, work on your thoracic spine mobility. Okay, good. Now after you do your world's greatest stretch, we're gonna do a straddle stretch with a reach. So again, this is gonna be working on your hip flexibility, hip mobility, and your thoracic spine mobility, okay? So you're gonna hinge forward at the hips. You can put one hand down on the ground and you're gonna reach up. Reach up. Now making sure you're rotating your head as you twist, right? If I just reach with my hand, I'm only getting that far, right? I want to reach with my whole body and really working on twisting. If that's a little bit too much, start with a less wide stance. Bring both hands together and just work on twisting here, okay? So again, 45 seconds to a minute. I personally would recommend a minute. Start off small and work your way up. After that, we're going to do a 90-90 hip mobility. So you're going to start here. Again, I'm going to try and make a 90-degree angle. These giant white lines on my pants help. You can see that's roughly a 90-degree line there. I'm going to do the same with this leg. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. If this is tough for you, start off here, right? Just to work on holding this. You can lay back if it's really tough. You can progress the movement, go forward and backward, forward and backward, and then slowly work on increasing the range of motion. I really feel a stretch in my right glute here. Another alternative to this, if that's a little easy, you can also try this. You're gonna keep your hands up. I like to make my hands match the way my pelvis or hips are facing, right? So I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground, rotate through, and turn over, right? Now I'm trying to do this with as flat a back as possible. This is definitely not an easy movement, okay? So for those of you who want to stick with just the basics, start here. Again, reaching back and forward, back and forward. Okay, so again, 45 seconds to a minute there. And then last but not least, we have spinal wave, also known as downward dog to Cobra. Okay, so you're gonna get into a high plank position here. You're gonna start with the downward dog. Okay, so hips are nice and high in the air, head's hanging between my shoulders. I'm gonna create a wave, tucking my pelvis under, rolling all the way up, dropping my hips down into a Cobra stretch, and then I'm gonna just do the opposite. So I tuck my chin, come up through the shoulder blades, do a little bit of a crunch, and then, right, so it kind of looks like that, right? So up. Okay, so that's Mobility Monday. On to Tabata Tuesday. We're gonna do 4 rounds 60 seconds on, 20 seconds off. We're gonna start with lunges. So remember, lunges are, you're continually moving here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, side view here, boom. Pressing out and away from the ground, right? So I'm creating a force vector down and diagonally, pushing off of the ground, straightening my leg up, standing all the way up. After that, I'm gonna hold a lunge hold, 90 degrees on the front leg, 90 degrees on the rear leg for about 20 seconds. After that, I'm gonna head right into the ab work. I'm gonna do some V-ups, try to touch my toes, fold myself in half here. For an added challenge, try to keep your legs straight. Okay, after 60 seconds of that, we're gonna do a V-up hold. Okay, if you want more of a challenge, try to keep your arms straight up without losing balance. My V is starting to look like an L, but that's okay. Definitely still feel that in my abs, okay? Caterpillars are the next movement. Walk it forward, tap your shoulders, try to keep your hips even. Walk it back up. Boom, boom. Okay, so 60 seconds of caterpillars. Then we're gonna hold a high plank for 20 seconds. High plank is just like a low plank, but on your hands, right? So trying to keep our back as flat as possible. From there, we're gonna go into Alpine mountain climbers. Not so different from mountain climbers, other than it kind of combines yesterday's world's greatest stretch with mountain climbers. Okay, so you're gonna kick your foot, you're gonna jump and swing your other leg to the outside. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. If that's too high, just kind of do this. You can kind of do the same movement, just not bring your leg as far up. Okay, after you do that, we're gonna finish with a bird dog. So you're gonna be here, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Keep your core engaged as you reach away from the other limbs, okay? A lot of people will do this. You'll see them lift their arms and lift their legs. You'll see a pretty severe arch in my lower back right here. That's okay, but not ideal. We wanna really focus on lengthening the spine and creating balance in the abs, right? I tell people, if you put a plate of peas on your lower back, they shouldn't roll off. None of the peas should roll off. So again, after you do your mountain climbers, you're just gonna extend, create length, slow your breathing down, 20 seconds. Okay? So that's Tabata Tuesday. For weighted Wednesday, this is going to require 1 or 2 dumbbells. We're gonna start with just some basics. I have a 15-pound dumbbell here. You can do it with whatever you have. You can also add another dumbbell if you'd like. We're gonna start with a high pull. So athletic stance, start down. I'm using my legs to initiate the movement, standing up and pulling the dumbbell up towards my shoulder. By the way, this workout's 3 rounds of 10 reps, okay? So if I only have 1 dumbbell, I'm doing 10 reps on each side. Again, I'm not just doing a high row or an upright row. I'm jumping into the weight and letting my hand slow the weight down on the way back, okay? After that, we're gonna work on our balance. We're gonna go contralateral overhead presses. So big fancy word for right foot on the ground, left foot off the ground, left hand presses the weight up, okay? 10 on each side. You can still hear my breath and my voice are a little bit recovering from that Tuesday workout. Just one circuit, a little bit, shows you how good that Tabata is. So after that, we're gonna go into goblet squats. Holding the weight on your chest, you can do this, you can do this, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Again, the strain shouldn't be on the shoulder, the strain should be on the legs. So here, squat down as low as you can go, stand up, side view, same idea. You're gonna keep your back nice and flat, right? So all the way up, squeeze the top. Okay, after that, we're gonna go to Renegade Row. So high plank here. You're gonna take your dumbbell, one hand, up, replace it. You can walk it over if you want. You can also place it on under your other hand, right? So side view would be here. Starting with the dumbbell on my left hand, I'm gonna row. place it under my right hand. Switch, row with my right hand, place it under my left hand. Okay, so after your Renegade rows, we're gonna do chest presses. Okay, so you can either lay on your back and do them or do a glute bridge. I'm gonna show you both variations here. So, option 1, chest press here, and then pressing from the floor, also known as a floor press. Again, 10 on each side. Or if you want to take the glute bridge approach, you can see again those handy lines on my pants showing you that my hips are at full extension. The line gets broken up here. Full hip extension, press, and then slowly down. Okay, so after I do 10 here, I'm gonna do 10 on my other side, just like I did with the Renegade rows. And then finally, we're gonna do torso rotations. Okay, so I'm gonna put my feet up, kick my feet up off the ground. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3. Now, if you have a lighter weight and want more of a challenge, you can go arms out. That's very tough for me. 4, so now I have something to work on too. Okay, so after that, we're gonna go into Thursday's workout, which is 4 rounds of 15 reps on each side. We're gonna start with opposite elbow to knee, okay? So, ankle sits on your knee like a figure 4, okay? Now from here, I'm gonna bring my opposite elbow, right elbow to the left knee, crunching up, and trying to get them to touch, okay? So again, side view here, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Same thing on the other side, 15 on this side, 15 on the first side, and then we're gonna go into body saws, okay? A body saw just sounds really intense, but it's actually just a rocking low plank. You're gonna be on your forearms here. You're gonna shift your body weight backward and forward using your arms and your calves, okay? So you wanna pull your shoulder blades together and just kind of rock. If you want more of a challenge, you can bring your arms a little bit in front of you, more in front of you than you would with a normal low plank. After we do the body saws, we're gonna do bird dogs, and then we're gonna do some side crunches, cocoons, and swimmers, okay? So bird dogs, like we described on Tuesday, this time instead of holding it, you're going to extend, slowly come back down, extend. So that's 1, 2. Now if I'm doing this right, I'm gonna feel this not just here, but all along the sides of my abs, my obliques, my internal obliques, my whole core is gonna be lit up by these by the end of 3 rounds of 15 on each side. Okay, so after that we have cocoons, side crunches. So side crunches, I like to put my arm out here, put my other arm behind my head, and then I'll bring both knees to my chest. I actually push off the ground with this hand a little bit, just to give me some leverage. I mean, you don't have to. It's definitely more of a challenge. And even when I'm not trying to do it, I want to do it. So that is definitely more difficult when you do this. So again, 15 on each side. So let's say I just did 15. I'm gonna go ahead over here. Same kind of setup. If I'm not keeping my hand on the ground, I'm kind of placing it on the oblique so I can feel it working. If I am placing my hand on the ground, I'm placing it straight out. And it's just to help me get that little extra lift so I'm not straining my neck so much. After the bird dogs, side crunches, we have cocoons. So you're gonna lay back, hands go above your head, feet go flat out. You're gonna bring your knees into your chest and try to grab your heels, okay? So you're gonna crunch up. Okay, so it's almost like a V-up, but it's not as, it's difficult in a different way. Okay, finally, we're gonna do 15 swimmers on each side. So similar setup as we just did. You're gonna lay totally flat. The opposite hand and the opposite foot are gonna go up. So it's similar to a bird dog. I'm gonna go ahead here and stretch opposite hand and opposite foot. And then when I get good, I can kind of, pretend like I'm swimming. making sure my core is engaged. Side view. Straight arms, straight legs. Opposite. Opposite. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 15, okay? So after you do 15, you're gonna do 2 more rounds of all of those exercises for 3 rounds of 15 reps each round, okay? Finally, we're gonna do a kettlebell workout. So for our Friday, weighted Friday workout, we're gonna start with kettlebell swings. You're gonna let the kettlebell hang in between your legs. You're gonna sit back into the hips, stand up, explosively pushing the hips forward, okay? You're gonna keep your chin relatively neutral to your spine. You don't wanna keep your eyes elevated. So when your chin is tucked, your spine stays neutral the whole way, okay? After you do that, we're doing 10 reps. We're gonna do 3 rounds of everything here. Next is a front rack step up or a front rack carry. So you're gonna rest the kettlebell on your shoulder and you're going to literally walk. Okay, the goal here is to keep your shoulders nice and even. You're walking around. Obviously, you'd probably go on a little bit straighter of a walk, but I have this nice 10-foot area that fits in the camera angle. So you would either walk or you can do a step up, right? If I were to do a step up, I would place it in the shoulder of the opposite foot that's stepping up. So I'd be stepping up with my right leg, bringing that left leg up, and vice versa, okay? So after we do that, we're gonna go into a bent over row. I'm gonna hinge forward here at the hips. This is a 30-pounder, so this would be good for most of you doing rows. Alternatively, if you wanna push a little bit more weight, we can go 1 arm here. And I like to add this little reciprocal row, whatever you wanna call it, just to, again, work on that thoracic spine rotation. Thinking about it like a pulley, right? Every push has a pull, so on and so forth. After we do the bent over row, we're gonna do a stability overhead press, which just means you're going to try and balance the weight, also known as a bottoms up overhead press. You're gonna try and balance the weight here, keep your core engaged, press all the way up and slowly down. Again, you wanna keep your core engaged here, trying not to let the kettlebell rock either way. So again, 10 reps, exercises like this, you're gonna do 10 reps on each side. It's not unusual to have an imbalance. Like I couldn't do that with my left hand the first time, so I'm gonna try it now and do it, but I have to really focus and try. Okay, so that's great. After you do 10 on each arm, you're gonna go to curls. Okay, so I'm actually gonna flip this up, holding the kettlebell here, shoulders back, curl up, slowly down, curl up, slowly down, keeping the shoulder blades together. Then after which, we're gonna go into, again, 10. If you're doing it together, all you have to do is 10. If you're switching sides and you're doing 10 on each, that's fine. Then we're gonna do a tricep extension. So you're gonna go overhead. I'm grabbing either handle of the kettlebell, either side of the kettlebell handle, and I'm going into full extension. Okay, so my elbows are staying slightly ahead of my spine, fully extending, and then slowly coming down. Okay? This weight is entirely too heavy for me to be doing this. You can also try a tricep kickback, but as you can see, my arm isn't fully extending. So I really want to work on that full extension, right? If I could get my arm all the way up here, that would be great. I'd be happily doing those tricep extensions, tricep kickbacks, but we're gonna stick with extensions. 10 reps on each side, or 10 reps if it's a unilateral exercise, like those kettlebell swings, and then you're gonna do 3 more rounds, okay? Everybody have a great week. Keep chasing those goals. Set some goals if you haven't set New Year's resolutions. Get out there, play in the snow. There's still some on the ground. We're supposed to be getting more this week, supposedly. If it snows, shoveling's a workout. That's active rest right there. Combine that with your Monday movement. That's 30 minutes of activity. Do that 5 more times, 4 more times, and you're at the CDC recommended 150 minutes of moderate movement per week, moderate physical activity per week, okay?
It's very attainable. All you have to do is try, okay? Good work, everybody. I look forward to seeing your comments and responses in the video, and hope to see you around the club soon. Thanks. Bye.